Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast. My name is Amir. Thank you for listening to the podcast on Spotify or Apple. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I'm on my path to 2,000 subscribers. So if you guys could subscribe to the channel, that would mean a lot to me. So thank you so much. So it's the offseason, as we know. The Miami Heat are not in the playoffs, even though there's some exciting games and series going on right now. Tonight, we have some exciting games. We have the Denver Nuggets versus the T-Wolves. We also have the Pacers versus the Knicks. Both series are tied 2-2. So going to be some fun basketball to watch tonight. But for the Miami Heat right now, in terms of the offseason, we know that Pat Riley mentioned that, he wants to make some changes to this team, even though he's not going to gut the roster and tear it apart necessarily. So who knows if we're actually going to make a big trade, getting a potential superstar next to Jimmy and Bam, like Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young or Brandon Ingram. So I wanted to talk in this episode about some free agents the Miami Heat can potentially target. And of course, no, we cannot target Klay Thompson or Paul George or DeMar DeRozan or LeBron James or any of these guys who are going to be asking for 25 to $50 million in that range, who are looking for max contracts. We're not able to sign anybody because we have no cap space. We're a first apron team right now. And so there are conversations by insiders and other folks in the NBA thinking that, one, the Miami Heat are going to lose a few players that have player options. So like Caleb Martin, possibly Haywood Highsmith. He is just an unrestricted free agent, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to re-sign him. So if Caleb Martin does walk, which is a prediction, that's going to be like $7 million that we can play with right now. So there are some free agents, lower tier free agents that we could potentially sign this offseason. And so during Pat Riley's press conference, he talked a lot about durability, talked a lot about availability specifically. The Miami Heat were the fourth most injured team in the NBA last season. They had 35 or 36 different starting lineups. And so he's talking about how he wants continuity with this roster moving forward. He needs his players to be healthier and available. And they also need to sign players that are durable. So the person I wanted to talk to today is another person who's been very durable for the most part in their career, especially of late. Jonas Valanciunas. He played all 82 games with the Pelicans this season. So he has been a pretty good center in the NBA. He averaged 12.2 points, 8.8 rebounds per game, which is really good. He's a really good rebounder. He's averaged a double-double, I think, 5 times in his career with the Memphis Grizzlies and the Pelicans. So he is a really good rebounder. He's not the best rim protector. So I think Bam would still be responsible for protecting the rim, but he is a very big body, a big guy, 6'11", 265 pounds, and he's someone we could play next to Bam Adebayo. We could move Bam Adebayo potentially back to his original position, which was a power forward. We know Bam Adebayo is 6'9", originally was a power forward, and he's been slotted as the Miami Heat center for the past 3 or 4 seasons. And we've been undersized. We've been playing small ball, something Steve Kerr has liked to do with his team, as well as Eric Spoelstra, positionless basketball, having players like Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, Haywood Highsmith, Jaime Jaquez, who are essentially Swiss Army knife type players who can do multiple things. So it would be nice to go back to a modern type of offense. A lot of teams are moving more into that modern offense. They're getting bigger, they're getting taller, they're getting more athletic. And it's typically now we're seeing 2 stars on a team. We're not seeing a lot of those super teams in the past. So if we could add Valanciunas to this team, that would allow Bam Adebayo to go back to the 4 spot. The Pelicans are expected to make major changes this summer, and they can theoretically let Valanciunas walk as a free agent. He's 31 years old, and he did make $15 million this past season, but potentially he could be available for something closer to the taxpayer mid-level exception, which is worth $5.1 million. And if we don't re-sign, if Caleb Martin doesn't opt in to re-sign, that's $6 or $7 million that you can play around with, and we'll still be in the first apron if we sign someone for 7 or below. So maybe we can offer him a few extra million So not 5.1, but maybe 7 million or so, whatever Caleb was supposed to make. Um, Adding again, Valanciunas will be helpful. One, we need help with rebounding, one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. Two, he could kind of spread the floor. He's not going to take a ton of shots. He only averaged 30% from beyond the arc last season, taking 1.5 shots per game, but he's almost a 35% career 3-point shooter. So he can technically spread the floor if we need to. And he is someone who's a great post up player, rebounder, and can be some sort of an enforcer next to Bam Adebayo. He's a good player. I mean, he's averaged at most 18 and 11 with 3 assists per game just 3 seasons ago with the Pelicans. So he is a capable scorer. He's a capable rebounder and someone that would fit really well next to Bam Adebayo and could be cheap. So, what do you guys think? Do you think Jonas is a potential that we could add next to Bam Adebayo for a good price? I think he might be the best option if we're looking at players that we could potentially pay 7 million or below. Um, Nicholas Claxton with the Nets, he's super young. He's only 25. He made 8 million last year. Who knows if he'd be willing to take a smaller contract, like a 1 year kind of prove it deal. I'm not sure if he'd be willing to do that. I think I'd rather have him. He's a better rim protector, but there's not a lot of guys out there that we can essentially afford in that range. We have Daniel Theis, which I don't love that option. You have Mason Plumlee out there. Of course, we have Kevin Love, hopefully, um, who has a player option, um, will resign with the Miami Heat. But I think Valanciunas could be a really good fit for this Miami Heat team, especially showing that we've needed and lacked size against teams like Boston and against the Sixers and Nuggets and other teams that are getting bigger. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Do you think Valanciunas would be a good fit? Do you think the Miami Heat should sign him this offseason? Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good one.